It's
Okay.
black people is the problem.
Okay.
Like you said, we don't
Let
believe in us. It's black people that are the problem. You know why? Let me tell you something. Black people have been human being the longest, right? We've been human being. We've been in this human existence. We've been close. We're closer to the first human Homo
Yeah.
sapien, already, right? So we've been
Yeah.
human being
yeah.
a long time. What happens is we're comfortable. Other people, Asians, white folks, they
Yes.
not comfortable being human being. They're always organized. They're always organizing and they're always on a certain code to exist. Whereas black people been human being for so long, we just like we always been here. We gonna be here. But other groups of people like no, it's a clock on their head. Whereas us, we're very comfortable people. A lot of
We
people
are
say we're
comfortable.
very nice, we're very warm, but it's a comfortability that comes with being a human being for so long. So you're not always on war mode or go time or whatever. So
Yes.
you're not always defense. It's not always defense with us.
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah,
else
yeah.
plays everybody else plays offense and defense. We just kind of just well,
Yeah,
we'll play defense when we have to, you know. Okay, I guess we
Yes.
gotta play defense now. So everybody else is playing offense and defense at all times.
and I always feel
So
like we always find an excuse. We always want to find an excuse of
Yes.
whatever happens. We always have this depends more like it's because of this. Why not? It's because of that. Why are you not
It's
working? It's
because of
because of
that.
this.
Yeah,
We
that's
always
true.
have.
Always find the
That,
excuses.
that is true. What you are saying is true. You understand? But
yeah.
what reason why I'm saying that the
Mm,
leadership is not standing in a day. We are the people that comes leadership.
Mhm.
You understand? So,
mm,
but the mentality that we have right from back home, because everything started from home, right from back
mm,
home, understand, is what they brought up until this stage. The people that, for
mm,
example, Nigeria, that when we get independent in Nigeria, the people that went for our independence then in 1960, they also are not united.
Right.
They don't like
mm,
each other because each of them have different things in mind. That is the reason why when they came back from independence, you understand, they killed the first woman, which is Fashion Kuti. That is how everything gets started. Up to today.
mm,
You understand? You know, people then, when they are in our age, they don't believe that they are going to become leadership. But
mm.
the mentality in their sense, that is what they grow up with. And also took them when they are in leadership, follow all what they are doing. They don't have any plan for us. It is because of the
Mm,
greediness,
Yes.
the cowardness. That
mm.
is
And
what makes them to go and got this independent and affecting us up
and
to date.
and, and,
That's the reason why I'm saying that leadership, they
and
are the one.
you see, like my brother is saying, you see, the problem with our leaders, once they liberate us from the white people from the, what they did is they decided to colonize their own people.
Yeah.
They decided to colonize their own people. And it's very difficult to be colonized by another black man because he knows how you think.
Yes.
You get the sense? He knows what you
Mm.
are thinking. He knows exactly what's your next move. So
Well,
this,
well, well, white folks know how you thinking too, though. White folks
Yeah,
probably know us better than we know ourselves today. I
they
mean,
know. They've studied
The
it so
Europeans
much.
know us better than we know ourselves today.
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
we know
Yes,
ourselves.
of course, we know ourselves. You
You see,
understand?
They know. They know
I
better
think
than us. The white people, they know us better. It's like they have studied all our movements, all our thinking. They will know that from this, if I offer this, these people are going to react like this. So if you react like this, you're
remember
going to
our
react like this.
educational system. Remember our educational system. It was established by white people.
Yeah.
So
Mm,
most of the way we think intellectually, we think according to the way we are like we're programmed to think
Right.
the way we think.
Yes.
Yeah.
You understand? We were programmed through the
yeah.
educational system. So they know very well how we think, because most of our times we're spending studying what they want. We're spending most of our time studying. We were told that English, if you don't have English, you go nowhere. If you
Yeah.
if you only speak your mother language, you will stay in Africa. You go nowhere. That's why I used to like the man Gaddafi. Gaddafi would come and he would stand in front of them and speak in his own Arabic language, and they would listen because they know.
People say if they don't listen, they will have an interpreter that is going to interpret it to them.
And they will need to know what this man is saying, because they knew very well that this man is planning big.
Yeah.
That's why he ended up dead.
But
Anyway, let me ask. Let me ask you. First of all, I'll ask Nigel. Then I'm going to ask you, Nigel. There is the year of the year of return. We saw African Americans going to Ghana. Year of return
Yes.
is with all these names. Now you're called. Like I think a few days ago, there was a naming ceremony that happened there in Ghana where they were being given African names and all this. What do you think about the year of return? I was talking about this with someone else about this year of return. Is it really necessary for African Americans to, like, say, we are relocating to the continent because this is where we belong?
It's not going to get us free, but it'll create good relations for us to be able to do business. It's not. No, it's necessary on a certain level. It's necessary in terms of creating relationships, which can lead to business, or it can be necessary on a cultural level. Like, people might start to commune with each other. You got people traveling instead of to France or to the UK, or traveling to South America. They might want to go to Africa now. Then you might settle over there and relocate. So it depends on how you look at it. Because there is a substantial amount of African Americans in Ghana. I think it's like almost 10,000.
Yes, yes.
And then you got a little bit in Gambia. I think like
Including
Nigeria, you got a
Zimbabwe.
few. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but it can create something can manifest out of it, but it's not going to solve the economic issues.
Yeah,
It's not
but
going to solve the
is it
economic.
something? Yeah, is it something to do with wanting to have a sense of belonging?
For some, yeah, for some that's because you got to remember, black folks, we spiritual.
I know.
Black folks are spiritual, so
I wanted to say so that that thing, it was more of spiritual. Remember, we as black people, we've got some values. We've got our own our own values, our things which we value as black people. And one of the things, all of us, we value our culture, our black culture. Remember, we follow the ways of the ancestors. All
But
these other things.
African Americans, which ancestors are they following? Like,
That's why.
even them being in Ghana, they might not even belong to Ghana.
That's why they were
from Zaire.
by bringing this year of the year of return, they were trying to reconnect themselves to their roots. You understand? For them to reconnect them. I still remember when before my father died, he wanted to take us to where he grew up. To him, it was like he was like reconnecting us to our own ancestors.
But African Americans, do they know that they are from Ghana?
They might not know. They might not know, but the blood in them.
Zimbabwe.
The blood in them. The moment they will come and stand on the ground where their forefathers came from, it will do something spiritual.
Yes. I saw some people crying in that cave where it all started. That cave where they used the last one that they stepped on, then they entered the ship. A lot of Black Americans when they they were crying, like that. Yeah.
It's deep. It's a lot of deep stuff that goes on. That's something I'm not qualified to speak on that because that's a deeper thing. That's a deeper thing right there because it's you got to kind of know about certain how ancestral power work and stuff. I'm not too qualified on that, but I understand that it has its place. But our immediate issues, the year of return, is it gonna solve them? Well, it can solve it if the proper relationships are created. You know what I mean? You have some business people, you got some very strategic business people, you got some good you know, some honorable representatives start to connect. You know what I mean? I think Nigeria might be doing something too. I heard about. They actually Nigeria been doing something, but I heard they might try to make it a little bigger or whatnot, something like what Ghana did. It could, if it becomes a thing, because you got to remember, we black folks from outside of Africa, we in South America, we in the Caribbean. So if everybody swarms it and not just Black Americans, it could create a little movement. You know, it could create a major wave.
Someone is asking. Let me read this question. Someone is saying, just a random question on this year of return business. Can a black person just decide I'm moving to America or Europe because I feel I belong there? Is it possible? Is just bank account working?
See, that's the thing. That's the thing. You gotta have resources set up for people. You gotta have some sort of tangible setup for people. So
exactly.
Move to Africa is for a very specific group of people anyway. You know, because if y'all come to America, we have a system set up to plug you into. Like if you're a refugee, you could get some housing. You might have to pay it back, but you can get some housing, some food stamps, some you know what I mean, that you can pay back. We got a credit system.
Yeah,
you know, we have a credit system. Get it now, pay later. So you know,
yes.
Yeah. So, but that took a lot of free labor for us to be able to create that system. It take a lot of equity. You gotta be able to build that. So Africa maybe could do a credit system in the future. Like I mean, maybe like you know, in the far future. But,
so actually, we also saw that when the people were coming to the African Americans were coming to Ghana during this year of return, people were talking of economic boom for Ghana, like African Americans those who are able to move from the United States to Ghana. They have the resources, they have the money, they are bringing in money to Ghana. They're not just carrying a bag and say, I am going there, I'm going to just survive. It's my motherland. No, but they've saved something and they're taking it to Ghana. So at the end of the day, I feel like maybe it's a win-win. I don't know.
Yeah, it might be a win. And also, you see, on that scenario, what I think it's very difficult to take Nigel and tell him that from now on you are going to stay in Zimbabwe. Your blood, you are a Zimbabwean. That's where you came from. That's where your forefathers came from. You'll be staying in Zimbabwe. What do you think, Nigel, if we take you to another to Africa where you've never been? Just like that.
No.
It's not okay. Myself, I've relocated to quite a number of countries. Okay, and I know how difficult it is to be in a foreign land. I know how difficult it is. You have to learn quite a number of things. The system itself of the country which you will be going to, you need to learn a lot of things. Especially that you grew up an American. It's just color. Myself, what I believe, you being American is not on your skin, the color of your skin. It's inside.
It's you. I mean, like, that's you, period.
Right.
That is you. You get this? Yeah. Like myself now I'm the way I am now. I'm trying to cope up with the situation, but I know deep inside me, sometimes, like now, I only speak my language online because I stay with Nigerians. Okay, I stay with Nigerians. So long time without finding somebody to speak my own language with. So, but deep inside me, my heart will be burning that I need somebody to speak my own language. I admire these guys because he's having his other brother. When they are speaking, I admire them. Say, yeah,
wow,
they're connecting.
But you know what, though? Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. You know, if we are talking about that US or British people are affecting us in Africa, there will be we have opposite and we have right hand and left sense. And language, they did more for all over the world to bring a language that can connect everybody together. No matter how language you are speaking. Once you are able to be speaking English, you can communicate with anybody in this life. You understand? So, and again, you talk about maybe I went to Ghana now and they just told me this where I'm going to be living in. For me as an African person, you understand, if I don't have my money to establish a business in that kind of country, I cannot be able to stand in that country. Because of what? Because of the situation over there. You understand? So many of us in black people knows that when it's come to hustling, for you to hustle for yourself, for your family, you understand? It's outside there. That is the mentality we have been with this. You understand? So the only thing that I'm just looking towards about Black or Africa is that I will still back on our leadership. Maybe we can have so many people, we have so many people that are talking on behalf of the people that cannot say anything at all. But still, yes, they are not listening. For example, in Nigeria now, we have one guy called Shuwere. I know that you know the guy, Shara reporter. So, so this guy came for our own heads, people that cannot speak out. But still what they are still doing for the guy, he does not have free movement, free speech. Even said the guy was too stubborn right from beginning of his life. You understand? But yet they are still trying to conquer him. So I could be happy if many African people can be like Ghana, because now Ghana is getting more many things, development in their country.
Can we attribute that? Can we attribute this Ghana thing to it opening its borders for African Americans to bring in the resources in their country? Because everybody's, this year, 2019, everybody has been talking. It was all the celebrities. We saw the Beyoncés. We saw all the celebrities. They were all going into Ghana. Ghana just opened. They say, "Hey, you are welcome home," and so they were taking all the resources going there. So this brings me back again to what I was talking about. Like my thinking is African Americans, them going to Africa, especially particularly going to Ghana. Yes, it has some spiritual thing, like God was saying, and all. But still, for them also, I feel like it's also sort of economic because if you've got some big money, in America, you might not do something big in America, but when you take that money to Africa, then you're living in a mansion. Okay, you can live a very nice, comfortable life. So I think also these people who moved there, maybe they did some researches. When they were traveling back and forth, they were calculating their money. Oh, I went there, I was buying bread for maybe 50 for $1. Then they come and say, okay, I can relocate.
Yes, sorry to cut you off. Due to what you said, you understand? I'm still thinking of traveling to another place because of what? Because I need some. Yes. I need some capital to establish myself. You understand? So, and where can I find it? I cannot get it back in Africa if we are just lying to each other. You understand? But my intention is that know how much I make outside there. I will invest it back in my Nigerian country.
You see what
Ghana? So that is what affecting us. We know that everywhere is corrupt. Where we are also is corruption. There is corruption everywhere. But what kills corruption is when you took the money, try to establish the money inside the same country. So that it can be benefits. It can bring another return to that same country. But many people, they took the money. When I was young, when my father was alive, I have one experience which I cannot ever in my life forget. Beside my daddy's shop, there was a politician there sitting with his friend, which was House of Assembly of Abuja. And a friend of him is talking to him, telling him that a friend of mine said that he wanted to come and build a company in Nigeria from US. And this politician said, but he talked to him not to come and do so here. Instead of coming to do so, he should just establish his money over there. He even said him that he was a politician here in Nigeria. You understand? He's trying to blow all his money from Nigeria down to that country. Which is not going to have any value for them. If we are just lying for ourselves, we are lying for ourselves. You understand? So what you can do in your back home, your home country, you cannot be able to do half of it outside the country.
I think myself, you see, I think policies, our African policies, are what stops people from thinking of investing in Africa. You get the sense? Like myself, if I get the money today, I will not invest in Zimbabwe today. Why? Because the policies in Zimbabwe, number one. Number two, there is no concrete, what can I say? There is no concrete policies which I know very well that if I invest in my own country, nothing will happen tomorrow. There is no guarantee of tomorrow.
So in other words, you are telling Niger that please, Africa is a no-go area. Because Niger might
Sorry. Let me answer my brother. You understand? If you said so, that you will not be able to establish in Zimbabwe. You understand?
At the moment, yes.
Not at the moment. You said it that you are not going to establish in Zimbabwe
at the moment.
Not at the moment. I don't count it at the moment. I count it that you have already decided from your mind that you are not going to establish in Zimbabwe, whichever money you have. You understand? But you are not encouraging people also as well. And I must tell you this: no other country you will invest to, you cannot have more profit than if you invest in that Zimbabwe country.
Well, I do Zimbabwe. Because that's Robert Mugabe, right? I do Robert Mugabe.
Yeah.
I thought he was getting the land back, and I thought Robert Mugabe was like the Gaddafi part 2 almost. Like he was getting the land back. No, he was like the Julius Malema. He was like what Julius Malema is doing now a while ago, right? Robert Mugabe.
Yeah.
He's getting the land back. That took the land back, right?
You see what Ghana did. You know what Ghana did. The Ghanaian government, by telling the African American, those who belongs to Ghana, by opening the doors for them to come back and invest in Ghana. What they did first was to amend their own policies. Because what an investor will always first look at is how, if I put my money on this country.
Okay, excuse me, I need to add. I'm going to add another person there. All right.
Okay.
It's another American brother. I'm going to add another one. Okay.
Okay. I think soon we'll be going out.
Okay, so if you're going, you can leave here so that I can add another person.
Yeah.
I think your line is cutting. Thank you so much, brothers. Thank you.
Welcome. Very welcome. Very welcome.
Okay. See you again. Right? See you again. Okay. Now. Okay. So now I have two African Americans in the building. First of all, we are talking about Africans versus African Americans, and we are complaining out here. We are saying, in what way are we different? Why are we fighting? Can you help us, please?
Hello, everyone. How are you doing? There's an old saying, we should focus more on the things we are alike and things that we do agree upon than the things that we don't. And for so long, the propaganda, intentional propaganda, has been put in place for both parties, Africans and people in the diaspora, to think wild tales of one another. When you're repeatedly exposed to something in the media over and over, when you see little babies with big bellies and covered with flies and desperate mothers who feel helpless to take care of them, when you see armed men with heavily armed bandits and berets terrorizing people, you see this over and over, that weighs in your mind. So the only thing that you see, regardless if you've been there or not, is you see that image. That's on the diaspora's part, particularly Black people in America. There was a time when the only thing we heard about Africa is something negative. My mother and that generation saw the old Tarzan movies. The only white man in the jungle who could fight all the Africans and how all the animals obey him. And the Africans were made to look like clowns, buffoons, and so on and so on. So when you get hit across the head over and over and over, you start to believe things, whether they are true or not. I know that.
Okay, but now we are in 2020, okay? We are in 2020, there is information everywhere. How can someone still be thinking, still using that mentality of what the kids with big bellies, how can someone still be using that as an excuse?
Because keep in mind, information and a lie dies very hard. A lie dies a slow, miserable death. For instance, if you were to go on the streets of Beijing and take a friend who has in their mind, you know, the Chinese people eat dogs, you know that, right? And you say, wait a minute, that is not true. That is just not true. But in their mind, they show you, look at the YouTube, look at this, look at Facebook, and they show this, and you're saying, so some people you will never be able to reach. You will never be able to change their mind. But you are exactly right. Ignorance is no excuse. There's too much information out there for people to remain ignorant about one another. I know that, for example, there have been 3 sitting heads of state, 3 that have come from Africa to visit the diaspora. The first one was Haile Selassie. He comes from Ethiopia to Jamaica. He excites the whole Caribbean by visiting the expatriates. The other one was Nelson Mandela when he came and he toured around after his freedom. The third one was Kenneth Kaunda. He took Black colleges. He went around the Black, so we got to feel, taste, and hear somebody who was African. We wanted to know, what is it like? Well, why do you talk that way? Why do you think that way? We got to feel and touch someone. So I think what needs to happen is what's going on right now, what you're doing right now, honest and open dialogue. That's the way it's going to start. We got to start with getting acquainted with one another and not be strangers in a room. You can be strangers in a bed with someone and not even know them. But we have to have that acquaintance. We got to know each other. And the only way that you are bringing out, which you have an excellent show that you are bringing out, we got to start somewhere, whether it's a physical move or psychological. I think the most important is the psychological. If you never step foot on the African continent, let your mind be clear that they don't swing in trees like monkeys. They don't, the whole continent is not in shambles. At least your mind. This is what people like Malcolm X tried to get us to see over. Block the ignorance and start thinking in a positive way, whether or not you go to Africa or not. The psychological journey has to start from somewhere, and it's going to start with what you're doing right here, by dialogue, by talking, whether some of the things are embarrassing or whether they hurt. Well, from the African side, you guys in America, you got all the schooling, all the education, you have the infrastructure. Why aren't you doing more with that? That might cut us. That might hurt us. But it's an observation. If we say, well, get your country together, build an infrastructure. You're living in filth and squalor. That might cut us, might cut you. But it's open and honest dialogue that we need to have to dispel the lies and the rumors. We're not talking about 10 years, we're 500 years worth of lies. 500. It's hard. A lie dies a miserable, horrible death. And we can do it within a generation if we really, really try.
Okay, let me ask you this question. That was also on Twitter. They were like, another issue that came in was when the Africans started to refer back to slavery. How do you feel if slavery is mentioned on you? Like if somebody mocks you using slavery, how do you think? Why is it that Americans quickly like jump up if anything to do with slavery is mentioned on them?
Because unlike anywhere else in the diaspora, slavery is slavery is slavery. If I take away your freedoms, you're a slave. Regardless if it's the Chinese coolies, regardless if it's the Dalits in India, it's still slavery. However, the difference in America is that with other types of slavery, they could buy their way out of freedom. Slaves could marry. But in America, the chattel system, which means property, never, ever, ever, ever will you ever be free. Your children were born in slavery, your children's children. So the difference in America with our slavery is that the system said you will never be free. And even when we gained our freedom, right, they still said a black man.
So is that the reason why I mean, okay.
And this is why, so even after slavery, listen to the comments of whites who said a black man will never, ever be equal to me. Never. We're talking about Abraham Lincoln on down. And this mentality is not something in the way past. We're talking about now. This is why we have the eruption and explosion of young people. People are getting tired of the same treatment over and over, whether their actions are wrong or right. The explosion, because you treated us like property. You never wanted us here other than to work. So a person in Jamaica may have a different take on when you say slavery. A person in Barbados, a person in Brazil, a black person in Brazil, slavery. But in America, we were never, ever supposed to be a part of this quote unquote American dream. Everyone before us and after us got to pull off of that fruit and eat, except black people. Even when the Chinese came and bought in the 1880s to build our railroads, they were still, even though they suffered hardships, they were still treated better.
They built some of the railroads.
Yeah.
Some of the railroads. The majority of them built railroads. The majority of them went into private businesses, and so on. Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Let me ask you. So, do you feel like Africans on the continent, they don't have this understanding about Americans, okay, about African Americans, their struggle? Like, you feel like Africans on the continent, they just take this thing like lightly. They just mention it like something that is very light. Oh, you slaves, you kids from slaves, something like that. Is this why it's like this?
Well, I can say that in the 60s, the United States government under John F. Kennedy, Lyndon Baines Johnson, they sent people like Dr. Ralph Bunche to Africa to tell the Africans what you're hearing and seeing on TV and what Martin Luther King and Malcolm X talking about. That's not true. we're making strides. So the intellectuals, the politicians go, oh, okay, because we thought it was real bad, right? So they worked in deception to trick Africans to thinking that, but we see you guys getting beaten and we see you guys getting this. No, that's just a small, that's not true. And Ralph Bunche was a black man. So the intellectuals, the politicians, right, on an ordinary layperson, we don't have the information about one another. Africans do not have the information, and the information they do have about black people, right? It's usually like, it's not all true. I mean, they're familiar with the stars. If you say Beyonce, oh, if you say Jay-Z, oh,
We
but
know
the
they
common person, we don't have that understanding or that acquaintance with one another. We don't have it that
So
we can
what should we
say.
do? What should we do? Because right now we are in 2020. We cannot have people fighting over you are Africans, you are African Americans. We are in 2020. I think it's high time we move past it. I don't know you. You don't know me. Okay.
Just like in the movie Black Panther, the fictitious movie Black Panther, at the
Mm.
end, Prince T'Challa comes to Oakland, California. He stands there. He said, I bought that building, and told his sister, you're going to turn it into a resource center so the black people can go in and learn about Wakanda, fictitious Africa. Things of that nature need to start having an exchange program, as if in college you have exchange programs, right?
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah,
same things for ordinary people. Send our children to Africa. Do you understand? For an
yeah. Mm.
exchange, a month or two in Africa, to work on a farm, to go in the village, in
But
the
how?
exchange.
Okay, how can you send your children to Africa when already you've got this thing about Africa that they'll be singing on the trees like monkeys. They don't have toilets. They don't have food. So how is someone going to be free to send their child to Africa when they still have that image of Africa that is like they live in the mountains and all this kind of stuff?
Believe it or not, there are tours that go to Africa already. And speaking of the year of return,
Mm-hmm.
Liberia and Libreville and Sierra Leone have been open for well over 100 some odd years. For blacks, whether you be in the British colony, Sierra Leone, or Libreville, the French colonies, or America, Liberia. They've been open for hundreds of years for you to come and return home. So the Ghanaian phenomenon is nothing new. It's been that thing about coming on home has been on the table for hundreds of years. So how can you? There are tours that take place, pleasure tours. If we can arrange pleasure tours, going day in and day out to Africa, trust and believe me, that curiosity is there. That
Mm.
curiosity to want to know and want to connect. Believe you me, by generation is there. The millennials are thirsty. Not only thirsty, they have the means. Maybe
Mm.
a generation ago, people didn't have money. And if they did, I ain't going no damn Africa. I'm going to Europe. But these millennials, they want to know. And they have the means and the intelligence and the resources. The youth, they want to know. So
Mm.
trust me, I believe that they will come in droves. They would
Mm.
raise their hand. I want to go. But what about, you know, the standard of living is different. Forsaking all of that, touching the
Mm.
ground, kissing that
Mm.
ground, to see yourself in someone is so
Mm.
unique. My adventures in Africa, to see
So,
myself.
mm.
Yeah, the language is different, customs are different, but listen very carefully and look, and you'll see yourself in the young man on the corner. You see yourself and you see your
Okay.
aunt, your mother. You get
Yeah.
to see that, and it's a powerful, overwhelming feeling that you would
Okay.
never have going to
Wanted to-
Paris,
okay.
London.
Listen, I wanted to talk about still on Africa, Africans and African Americans. Okay, there's this thing I want to ask. We see this year of return, it has been published everywhere. A year of return, let's go to Africa, let's go and settle there, and everything that has been said, right? And it's okay. But my question is, do in general, do African Americans really want to go and live in Africa? Do they really want to go and settle in Africa?
Let me say this, and let me give you two examples of resettlement. In the 1970s, Haile Selassie threw out his hands and said, I want the Rastafarians in Jamaica and the Caribbean. Come on to Ethiopia. Come. I will give you land, property, and money. And they went by the droves. I believe it was an estimate of 200,000 Black people from the Caribbean, Rastafarians, went to Ethiopia. Now there's less than 5,000 left, but they left and they went.
Mm.
Recently, if you remember the earthquakes in Haiti that devastated, 10, 15 years ago, devastated Haiti, right? President Wade of Senegal said, come home to Senegal. Remember, Haiti is a French-speaking country. So is Senegal. He said, come on home. I will give you land and money to resettle. Leave Haiti. Leave the destruction and the death behind you. Come start new in over in Africa, in Senegal. Guess how many people went? Zero. So is there a real move, a traction for Black people to resettle? I would estimate, and I would say my own opinion, I don't believe so. Because they would say, this is my home. To visit, to have a psychological connection with Africa, yes. To relocate as a whole, as a mass movement, no. Because people view where they're at as their home. If the Haitians did not want to leave that death, destruction in Haiti, and was offered free land, free transportation, and free money to go to Senegal, they said, no, we don't want to go.
Anyway, so now let's still work on this one. Now that you're here, I wanted to talk about. You see, I have seen a lot of young Africans, even our artists, our African artists. Some of the things that they do, they'll be like, how can I don't want to use the word imitating, but it seems like it is like that. Okay, imitating the American pop culture of dropping jeans, dropping trousers, the way they talk, the way everything, the way they do. So I'm saying, do you think like it reflects how Africans feel about Americans, like they admire them or what? I even asked Nigel about this question again. I'm like, please tell me what's up with all this attitude. When people are talking, they do their hands like this, and we feel like it's so beautiful. We love it. Okay.
But that is not new. Trust me. Black people and our culture has gone worldwide.
Why?
We sent jazz during World War One when Black troops went to fight in World War One in France. They bought their jazz. The French are going, what is that? Well, that's our music, our jazz music. When Black troops went to England in World War II, they brought the blues and the English left them out. And who in America, the white kids, even though it was segregated and racist, they could not get enough of Black culture. They want to act, they want to talk, they want to smell like Black people, right? They love the culture, but maybe
But
not
they don't
love
like
the
the people.
person.
They like the culture. They don't like the owners of this culture.
Correct. And so when we talk about this culture now, and I will say for myself, that culture is a culture of the late 80s and the 90s, and that's that ghetto culture that is not necessarily representative of Black culture as a whole. I would say that.
Brother Sean, let me cut in real quick because I asked that
Go ahead.
earlier, but I would say it's the essence that we come with. Now the 80s and 90s, the culture you see today, the one that's commodified and globalized, right? That's a degenerate version
Yes,
that's being
sir.
spread out. But there's still the essence
Talent.
underneath it that still gets promoted. But of course the degeneracy is going to spread faster because that's what the system wants to put. That's what
Yes.
the
So,
system.
yo, brother, man, yes, sir. Yes, you are. You hit it on the head. You're 100% right. It's the essence. This young brother and I can walk on any corner and hear the same language that you hear on a tape or a CD, and you're marveling at it. Where they at? We go in
Okay,
the corner and they
let me
act the
read for
same
you.
way.
Wait,
So
wait, let me read for you. Let me read the comment. Sherman, wait. Let me read the comment. Someone says, here in Africa, we really, really like to be, we really like to be like these guys. Like they really want to be like you, you know. You want to be in America, you know. It's a
Well,
dream, you know.
well, you got to remember, we make music at 100 miles per hour in this country because this is our bread and butter. Like music is a cash cow for Black American society. It's
that's right.
it's a
That's all
it's
we
our
had.
major, it's our
Yeah,
biggest hustle. It's the second most imported commodity in this country, entertainment. So this
Oh,
is the only thing that we have like that we generate billions off of. Even if we don't get all
oh.
of the billions, we generate billions of dollars off of this industry, off of the entertainment industry. And it's been like that since the brother Sherman said the blues and the jazz, ragtime. It's been like that ever since we've been here. We don't control real estate. We don't control steel. We don't control timber. We don't control power plants. This is all we got. We ain't got nothing else. We don't control manufacturing plants. We don't control
teach,
nothing around here.
teach,
So this is what we
teach,
got. We gotta dance, we gotta sing, we gotta rap, we gotta tackle, we gotta catch, we gotta run, we gotta jump. So this is what we have.
that's the
Ah,
only
I get it.
commodity. That's the only commodity that we have. But you know what the brothers talked about? He said the essence. Listen to what he said. He said at the essence is Africa. People miss it. People miss
Right.
it.
That's what
Is
the
you
chapter
familiar
Mm,
said.
with the Gandhi dancers? The Gandhi dancers were railroad workers who worked on the railroad, and they started singing and chanting, right? And people are typing in Gandhi dancers, and they hear that rhythm when they're working, and the man giving cadence, right? That
Right.
has spread around the world. Every military that you go to, whether it be China or whatever, when they call cadence, that's from black
mm,
people. But black people, that's encoded from Africa. The
Right.
rhythm, the sound, that is not something that the European, that's something that bled through Africa, even in bondage. So the
mm,
Gandhi dancers, type it in and you'll be amazed. But in essence, we say, well, that's black culture. But at its essence, what the young brother said, at its essence is Africa. We cannot deny the African in us. We wanna, because Africa has been misrepresented, we wanna deny it. We wanna do it. We wanna walk away. We wanna downplay it. We wanna mislabel it. But at the essence of it all, it's
mm.
truly Africa. It's
Okay,
truly
so
Africa.
what can you tell? What can you tell the young men, the young women, are the Africans who like who will be holding their, thinking like one day is one day I'm going to be seeing myself in America, walking on that Hall of Fame, Hollywood, and everything. Is it as bright as the lights seem from afar?
Well, if you're talking
Let
about
me have let me have
young,
brother Nego answer first. Sherman, wait.
so
Let me
go
have
ahead.
Nego answer
Oh,
first.
okay. Well. It's. I would say. Hold on. It's a little echo, but can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, okay. I would say if you can utilize the infrastructure, the systems that's set up here, do that. Like in terms of the higher education, the colleges, and
Mm,
if you like maybe coming here to work to make money and bring that money back, okay, you can do that. But in terms of the whole, like you said, the bright lights, in terms of the Americana, like the facade, maybe. Don't
Mhm.
educate yourself to how that works. That's a hustle. That's nothing but a promotional device in order to bring you in to get your labor in. Because what happens is they're trying to brain drain Africa. They're trying to brain
Mhm.
drain. See, other parts of the world know how to do this properly. They know how to come here, set up shop, like they'll even build their own towns, their own neighborhoods, because they know they understand enterprise, they understand like nationhood. That's what I mean. They understand
Mhm.
nationhood, so they know how to come here, play the game, get in here, get into some industries, whether it be some gas stations, whether it be some small businesses. They'll find a
Mhm.
niche. They know how to find the niches, and then they know how to get the money, get the wealth from here,
From
and
that, yeah.
sprinkle it back into their nation, sprinkle it back into their
Mhm.
home country. That's how they
Yeah.
build up their nation. You pull from here. So pull from here what you need, but go back to where you got to build from where you're from. So that's focus.
Mhm.
I would tell the the Africans to focus on doing that. Don't try to come here and I don't know, fall
For
into
the
the facade and whatnot.
bright lights, for
Yeah,
for all the
and
reading.
some Africans do understand that. Some Africans do understand that, but they might get lost here. Same way they do in Europe. They might get a little lost. They get caught up. They
Teach,
get
brother,
stuck here. They
teach,
get stuck here. So don't get
teach,
stuck.
teach.
You know,
Yes, yes.
that's what happened to us. We got a little confused. I mean, we didn't stay focused. It came with some acts of warfare as to why we got confused.
Mm.
But the majority of us did get confused, and we got a little, we got off track. So
Mm.
just stay on track. If you're gonna come here, stay on track, and know the objectives.
My best
Teach, brother.
friends are
Teach,
listening
young
here.
brother. Teach. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My best friends are listening here because they were like, "Come on, guys, we really admire you. We really want to be there. We want to be there. The lights are bright. The music is good. The dancing is awesome. Why can't we just come there?"
Well, he said it. He said it. He nipped it right in the bud when he said, "Don't get caught up in the trap of Americana." When you start, at least for us here in America, when we start buying into the system, that's what happened after the civil rights movement. Black people, now the barriers were lifted, so to speak, and we like, you know what? We're American now. We can get educations, we can live we want to, and we bought into the American system because we had went to war with our bodies and our minds to bring down segregation and legal
Mm.
apartheid. So now we're free. And so a generation or two has bought into the mythology. When I was a young man, and I said, I want to go in the Marines. I want to see the world. I want that tough training. So I went in when I was 17. I had the facade in my eyes that we're fighting for what's right and what's good. But when I got in and I
You ready
saw,
for something else?
wait a minute, something is definitely wrong here. So the facade was peeled from my eyes. And at the same time, I was reading the books by Malcolm X and Frantz Fanon, and I'm seeing what I'm reading. It's hypocrisy. So the facade that that young 17-year-old kid went in, the 19-year-old kid seeing war, death, and destruction, and at the hands of imperialism. What? Big word there. Imperialism. So the
Okay.
facade was taken away from my eyes, and now what you guys call it being woke or whatever that phrase is, it hit me like a rock. So what he's saying is, when you do come here, and yes, you will fall in love with the bright lights and the facade, but stay grounded. Never forget where you come from and who you are in relation to the world at large. I'm a black
Okay. So
man in
someone
this
says,
world.
let me read some comments here. Another comment says, "Oh, lovely words, Nigel." There's someone called Yusuf Maruf says, "Nice words you taught us about young people. Young people. Sometimes we just get caught up, and at the end of the day, we lose focus and all this." And then another was saying, "In Zimbabwe, things are upside down, so I can't stop dreaming about America."
Oh man.
But this is the reality. You see what I'm saying? This is the reality of the things. While you are there in America, you have your own struggles. You understand? You have your own struggles. You have things that you go through that we don't know. Because all we see is we are seeing you shining. We are seeing you doing all these things that we see. So we just long for that thing. Like, if only I can get my foot in America, I'll do this and that and that. This is all we see. But you are there. You know your struggle because you are part of that struggle. You are living the struggle. But us who are out here, we don't have that. We don't know that. All we see is the bright lights. And these are the bright lights that we want, nothing else. We just want to come there for the bright lights. And then you are right. And then you're telling us that, hey, when you come here, yes, you're going to see the bright lights. Yes, you're going to find the music. But there's some other things, again, you're going to find that are not shown in front of the bright light. There's some things that you are going also to be caught up with. So those are the things that you need to worry about. Those are the things that you need to be prepared about. Don't even worry about the bright lights, because indeed they are bright lights. But there's the other side that you're not seeing. So yeah,
Those are that are bright light, maybe a train coming to run you over. That's the way we look at it. That's
Bright
what
lights.
that's the, me and the brother, we know that damn train. Oh Lord. Hey, it's a bright light. That's a damn train. Who you ran over? We know that from our collective experience. I don't know where this young brother's from or where he's at, but I can almost guarantee you if we get together, we can talk about Americana and never miss one beat. We'll be on the same page. We know this from our collective experience. I can go from here to Seattle to Los Angeles to New York, and the same song will be sang. So we know what we're talking about. We're not trying to dissuade anybody, but we're talking in real terms of what America is to people of color.
but you're just saying this because you're not here. You're just saying this because you're not in Zimbabwe, okay? You're just saying this because you're not in Malawi, you're not in Zambia. You are saying this because you're not in Nigeria, okay?
Right.
That
Which
is
is
why you're saying like this. A brother who is in Nigeria right now, a brother who is in Zimbabwe right now, if they hear you talk like this, they'll think like you are just closing the door on them. You just don't want them to come and experience this beautiful life, okay?
no.
African immigrant. I'm gonna be real. An African immigrant that comes here and goes to school is probably a lot safer than a lot of Black Americans, though.
Mm,
Like
mm.
y'all moving in a very unique space. Y'all moving in, like y'all kind of. How can I put it? Like the white supremacists know us as Negro. Like a lot of people might say that white people look at us all the same. White supremacists know us they're Negroes.
Teach,
Like
yo, man.
if you watch a movie called Rosewood, right? There was a
Teach.
white man. There was a white man. There was a white group. There was a white town, and they were encroaching on another white town, looking for a black man. And he was like, then the white people said, "No, don't come in here with that stuff. Our niggas are good niggas here." See, every white person, the white people know who is who, so they're really attacking us. Now, don't. I'm not gonna lie and say y'all may not get caught in the crossfire. Y'all can get caught in the crossfire and run across the wrong
Mhm.
one. But there's really a
Right.
little, there's really
Brother,
a war going on here, and y'all may be
brother,
okay, but stay focused.
brother
Oh yeah, go
Nigel,
ahead. Yes.
brother, are you familiar with the uh the uh the experiment that the black guy did in the South in the '60s, where he put on a turban, he put on African clothes, and he walked Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama, and he went to restaurants that was said no blacks allowed. As soon as he walked in, they said, "Hey, nigger." He started speaking in this, "Hello, I'm not from here," and he was allowed to go wherever he want. It's well documented. He
Okay.
went wherever, and the old saying was, "Oh, he not one of our local niggas. He's
Right.
different."
Right.
That's an actual.
What?
That was an actual
Right.
experiment that took place in the '60s. This guy went around to the restaurants that said no blacks allowed, no niggas. He walked in, and they were soon quit. And then
Wow.
he would start speaking, and they would say, "Oh, sorry, you ain't want out local niggas." Okay,
Right.
go ahead, sir, go ahead. This is the actual experiment that was done. That's where Eddie Murphy
Mm,
gets the whole thing about him dressing up and coming to America. He inspired by that idea. but the Africans were not touched
Right.
because they started speaking. I'm not from here, sir. Oh, okay. You're not one of our local niggers. Okay, you're different. That's an actual experiment that took place. So what Brother Nigel is saying has some validity to it. You know, it's true. It's sad, but it's true.
You might get caught up at the end of the
Yeah.
day. Yeah, you are safe, but you might get caught up in this okay crossfire thing. When it's
Yes.
happening,
Yes.
get
Yes.
caught up in it, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And if
I
you
get it.
know,
Anyway,
it,
so
yeah.
okay, all I wanted to say is for me, I'm really worried about you know, I don't know, for some reason, I'm so passionate about the new generation and and the movement of people. I always want to believe that when you travel, wherever you find yourself at, first thing first, just know your surrounding, okay? Know your surrounding. Because of myself, we were traveling around all this. I have also realized it's very important for you to know your surrounding, know what you're getting yourself into, okay? Even before you think of going to America and all this, yes, you might be attracted with the bright lights, but also just have some moment of, learning more, you know, talking more, just, having these dialogues with those who are there so that you are prepared. You don't just, you know, get caught up in just your
Wait,
mind is just blinded with the lights
Ziki, are
and
you in,
everything.
are you in the United States? Are you in the U.S.? You're in the
No, 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 no,
U.S.?
no, 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 no.
Okay. Okay.
No,
Zimbabwe.
no, I'm in China.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh,
Yeah, so all I'm saying is for my people, I know a lot of you can see from the people who are commenting here, a lot of them their dream is to one day end up in America. Especially for the young ones, for other, especially the young ones, they might not have this big dream of education, of university, of this, but all that pushes them is what they see, what is being put in front of them
Can I
is
can
what
I
is driving them to have this thing of wanting to be there. You
can
know,
I can
so
I
then
can I add something? A real life
that
experience. Can I add something? I don't know if you're familiar with the name Amadou Diallo. Amadou Diallo.
oh yeah.
Amadou Diallo was a foreign gentleman, young man, who got arrested, and the police sodomized him with their police sticks and rupturing his spleen, his inside.
Oh no. That was Abner Wima. Amadou
Okay.
Diallo took 41 shots.
Before, yes, yes. Now,
Yeah, from
now
Guinea.
these are Africans, right? What Brother Nigel said, getting caught up, right? And they probably had the same thing. If I get to America, I work hard, I play by the rules, Americana, then everything's okay.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they met untimely deaths at the hands of law enforcement or some other. Am I correct, Brother Nigel?
Yes, sir.
So what he's talking about getting caught up, yes, Amadou Diallo, or one of the two, when he went to jail, the police were so angry at him that they sodomized him. They took police sticks and rammed it up in his insides, killing him, tearing his inside.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Now
That's
that
been
was a
happening
Haitian.
to black
That
people
was the Haitian
in
kid. That was
Kenya.
the Haitian kid right there. That was the Haitian kid back in the '90s.
Yes, yes,
Abner Louima.
yes,
Yep.
Mina. Yes,
wow.
yes, yes. But the
Yep.
same dream, the same stars, the same lights. And me and Brother Nigel saying, I'm
Okay,
telling you, those lights are a
okay.
big
Let me ask
fat
you:
train.
do we have any chances of having the American dream? Because the American dream, is it there? Is it still a thing? American dream? Because I was listening to Love and Hip Hop. I'm like I follow that thing like crazy. Love and Hip Hop. There's this lady's from, I think it's from Jamaica or the Bahamas. I
Let me
can't
channel for
remember. Is from Jamaica or from Haiti, and he was talking like, I come to America for the American dream, and American dream is what I'm going to achieve. But I'm asking you, Nigel, is this still there? Then can it still be achievable, the American dream, with all this that is happening right now?
No. No. I would say that the the you gotta look for that. You better look for the African dream. You better look for the African
Wow,
dream. I watch a
wow.
channel on YouTube called Black Acres of the Gambia. It's about an African American family that moved to the Gambia, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And they
yeah. I
want to.
think I watched yes, I watched their videos. Yes.
Oh yeah, sweet juicy mama. You know what I'm saying, Mr. Rick. And look, they looking for the African dream. Y'all better look for the African dream. Look at Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, y'all was trying to get y'all land back, right? So
No,
people are
no, but
starting to.
come on, but you guys, you cannot tell us to look for the African dream. You are coming to Africa with the resources, you know. You are coming to Africa with man with resources. We also want to move out of Africa to come there and work and get the money. You understand me? And then when you get the money, we bring it back and live the African dream. But in the meantime, I cannot live the African dream when I don't have the money, when I don't have the capital. You know, I don't have the resources to live the African dream. So I need to get out of Africa to get the resources from America and then bring them back to Africa so that I can live the African dream. Okay.
What kind of resources do y'all need, right? Y'all need capacity. You need skilled, trained people. So if people come back, because y'all already
Okay.
have,
Let me read this comment. Yusuf Maruf. More wisdom and blessings. Okay. Thank you, Yusuf. Okay, go ahead, please.
you need skilled, trained professionals. You need people who can create medical systems. You know, you need people that can create education
We
systems,
are. We are
bank,
skilled. We are
banking
skilled.
systems.
We are skilled. We are skilled every sector. We are skilled.
You're
Trust me, we
skilled,
are.
but you're not
We are.
organized. They haven't. Well, the skill. Well, you have skilled people off the continent. Like we have skilled people here in the United States, but nobody's organized. Everybody's going in their own separate
Maybe.
directions. People don't know how to work together. So it's almost like you don't have a system yet. You don't have a system of your own. You're still using a incomplete system or a system that's working against you. So you're not looking for what do you call it? You said the dream, but you're looking for the resources. But the resources are already there. You just got to get the people that know how to utilize the resources to come back. Because they over
We
here
have
building
the
up.
resources.
Yeah.
I think what we need to be talking about is maybe if you say let your leaders go to school, I think to go and reschool them about governance and how to handle people well. Because honestly speaking, everything we have right now, the ordinary person, all they want is to find somewhere where they can run to, hustle, 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 get the little they can get and go back home and live a dream life. That's it.
That's because see, people in Africa don't want to. I'm gonna put it to you like this: they don't want to do the hard part right now. They want to just be plugged in to an already well operating system. See, this system in the United States is this is probably the best system on the planet right now. I mean, you could come here and you could work. You could come from anywhere, and you could find a job in probably like I said with the refugees, they'll put you to work. Like you can get put to work over here. Now, depending on how much money you want to make, depending on what you feel your worth is, depending on what kind of job, what kind of employment you're gonna receive. But you can find work over here immediately.
Cheese,
May not
brother.
be the best work, but see over there, y'all got to do the hard part. See, this is the hard part. This is the reconstruction part. This is where it gets hard at. This is why you got. This is where
Okay, let
you got to
me
get your
read the
skilled
comment
labor.
here.
Okay.
There's a comment here says, I can't meet African dream whilst I am in Zimbabwe because now I'm turning 24, but I still don't have anything to do for a living.
Yeah. Yeah. See. And that goes back to what I'm saying. They don't have the system set up for him to be plugged into. That's why he feels like. That's why he see how he talk. See the way how he just commented. Like he feel lost. He feel like he had nothing at 24. 24. He probably no gainful employment over there if he didn't go to school. So he's scared. There's nothing set
Yeah,
up
but you
for him.
see, the thing is, it's not about going to school, Nigel, because he might be 24, maybe he has even graduated from university, you understand? But still, so what they do after graduation, many people will be thinking, okay, after my degree, I've graduated, I have nothing to do. Come on. The next thing they do is to go and apply for a passport. Where can I go? Let me just look for something to do. Let me just go to America. Maybe that is why you see these are educated young men, young people who are educated with the degrees and everything. So the only thing they're looking for is I have this degree. So they get so frustrated. And when they get so frustrated, what do? They look at where can I go? And they see America. They say, maybe if I go to America, whatever I'm going to be doing in America is okay as long as I'm just living this place is okay for me. because they're looking for something to do. So it also gets, you see the way you're talking, Nigel, you are talking in America. You see how opposite things are. Remember, we were talking about your experience in America, the hardships that you face as being an African American and everything, and Africans, the way they view you. We just say, why are they complaining? They're in America, so what's this problem? And now you see, now when it's now vice versa. Now you see how these young people are also looking at you guys saying, I just wish I was there. I think it's good there. Everything is fine. I don't care the struggle that they're facing. I don't care. It's better than here. This is the majority.
Um,
Well, yeah, there's some truth to what they're saying. Brother Nigel he hit on the head. The infrastructure itself. Let's talk about an immigrant coming and going to school here and then end up settling here. And let's say they went to get their medical or law degree. The infrastructure is in place for that person to excel and accelerate in this economy and this structure. This person can do things that they never could have expected to do in Zimbabwe or Africa because of the structure. So not only do they succeed in their education and the profession, the money they're making is quadruple. They send that back to the old world, back to home. So mother, grandma, brothers live a better life. That is
Mm,
true. That is true. That's part of the light syndrome. The lights, the lights, the lights, the pulsating. And we're
mm,
not saying that you cannot make it. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that we know that may come at a price that we know from our own collective experience. I've seen Nigerian doctors, surgeons. I've seen accountants. I've seen them. That group become very, very wealthy Africans, very wealthy, very prosperous. They fit right into Americana. They buy into the dream. I cannot deny that. I cannot deny that there are Black people that have made it. We cannot deny that and say, oh, we're all poor. We live in the ghetto. That's not true. That's not true. However, we do know that that comes at a price by our collective experience that we have experienced. The George Floyd in those cases are nothing new to us. It's not new. It's been going on.
mm,
The only thing is it's been captured on video. But that police harassment, them killing Black men, it never stopped. It never
mm,
stopped. I had an uncle who I never met. My mother My mother's one of his older brothers was shot and killed because he spoke to a little white girl in a small town they lived in called Greenville, Florida. They had a little. I think they were like 9, 10, a little crush and flirting. They shot my uncle. They shot him,
mm,
a 10-year-old child, because he was quote unquote reckless eyeballing or flirting with a little white girl of his age. They shot and murdered my uncle. That prompted my grandmother to move her big family out of the country into the city where we're at now. So that has never stopped. There's nothing new. Police violence, mob violence, that's not new to us. We've known this, except it's been filmed and sent around the world so America cannot hide its shame anymore. There was a time I
mm,
told you, there was a time that they would send out people like Mr. Ralph Bunch. Oh, no, 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 no. That's not true. We're doing fine. We have little small hiccups and everything's okay. Oh, that lynching, that guy was a thief and he stole something. They would make up these lies for American government. Oh, that's kind of not true, you know. But the lies now cannot be covered up anymore. People are filming. And this is why the response worldwide, from Australia to Japan, you're showing your shame. You say that you're the city of lights on the hill, that beacon, but we tell you different. We tell you different. I'm not going to
mm,
stand for an anthem or a flag when the very anthem itself was based upon racism. How the hell could a man be in prison and look out his prison cell and see the battle going on, and the only thing on his damn mind is what black people are doing. Brother Nigel, do you feel me, brother?
I feel.
Francis Key sat there in a damn jail cell, don't know if they're gonna kill him or cut him open, but he writes the national anthem, and the only thing on his damn mind is the niggas and black people in our national anthem. Dude, are you serious? You worried about what black people doing, and they probably gonna hang your ass in the damn morning, huh? So I cannot be a party to that. I can't pretend like no, I don't, no. I cannot be a party to that foolishness and nonsense.
Anyway, there's a question for you. There's a question for you. There's a question. Somebody says, I'm worried about all this. They say, do the African Americans don't know how many countries are in Africa? They always think it's only one country.
Who's that for?
It's 54
Any
countries.
of you can answer that.
It's 54 countries. We know. We get it. It's 54.
Oh,
54
so
countries, NET.
Listen,
NET, 54 countries, we know that.
listen, so that they're asking if lay people know. Well, again, it depends upon the education level and the curiosity. People speak when they say Africa, they just that person's African. If you dare say I'm a certain, they're not knowledgeable of that. So people just say, "Oh, he's African." If that person says, "Look, I'm from Kenya." Oh, he's from Kenya. So do the lay people know the amount of countries or their names or the geography? All depends on level of education.
Okay, another one said, please tell us about the American visa lottery. Said, as I'm speaking right now, I have applied, okay, for an American visa lottery. How does this? I've also heard of this thing. A lot of people have been saying they've applied for this. Have you heard of it? They're asking you. They're asking you if you know about the American visa lottery.
Oh, yeah, I'm familiar with that. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think that's for like people who I guess they go down to the embassy and they get vetted and they get a background check. And then well, but this is a funny thing. That lottery thing, those are for the ones that the United States. Those are a very certain group of Africans, very specific type of Africans they want over here. They know who is. See, that's that lottery system as opposed to like people who just want to I guess they have the wealth to come over here, like certain maybe middle class Nigerians who are like professionals. Those lottery people, they vet them. They make sure that they can come and plug them in, and they use them against us sometimes. They may use them against us. See, that's a very specific. Like you notice, like the Hispanic groups that come over here don't have a lottery system. They don't have a lottery system like Africa does because Africans can, like, if this makes sense, an African can come and mimic me, like what I would say, could come and like almost impersonate the African American and do the bidding that an African American won't do for the white supremacists. Potentially, we do it too, but potentially. So it's unless they have a name. That's why they like a lot of those West African countries. They may have a British surname or something like that, as opposed to maybe somebody from the Congo or French
niece,
speaking.
I had a niece who actually won the lotto. I had a niece, she actually won, and she came over on the lotto from Liberia. She ended up meeting a young man from New Zealand, and now she's living in New Zealand. So there's an
they can actually win.
Oh yes, my niece, she came over from Liberia to America.
I thought I heard the president of America talking about canceling it. Was it for everybody, or maybe I got it mixed up? What was it talking about?
He canceled a few countries.
Just Brother Nigel said, they target specific countries. Usually, like in America, it's Anglophone countries, meaning English speaking.
Okay.
They don't want to get somebody from a francophone or French speaking. They want people from Anglophone Africa, Liberia, Nigeria, Cameroon, or whatever, places where they speak English. So the acclimation process of them coming here won't be so devastating.
Ah, I get it. You see what I'm talking about. You see what I'm talking about. Like you are there. You don't understand what is going on here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But you know what's funny? This system over here, the white supremacist system, are using Africans to replace us. They're
Yes.
using
Oh,
Africans to replace us, and that's the deeper discussion right there. That's part of
oh, I
that's part of the
see.
lottery system because they want to vet child. They got to see where your minds are at over there. They got to know, are you going to come over here and try to? That's why, like, they may if you like, they don't have to do this in China where you're at, but over here they may give you a little talking to about uh not socializing with the Black Americans, with the African Americans. They may not want you to do that. They may want you to stay away from us.
Oh, stay
They do
away
it
from
very.
them.
Yeah, it's very insidious. They're very diabolical about it. They know what to see. You got to remember the psychologists of white supremacy orchestrate all of this madness.
They know.
The psychological department of white supremacy. I'm telling you, these people, they're good at what they do. I gotta give them credit. They're very good, very crafty.
They are very smart. They will be. You'll be thinking like everything is just as easy, as open as it is, but they'll be doing some other things. You know,
Right,
trying to know to see if we bring this person in here, are they
right,
likely to do this? If we tell them to do this, are they likely to do it, or they'll try to reason their way out or something like that? So they'll
right.
always be so crafty in everything they do.
But look, they're so good at what they do. That Twitter war, that little Twitter beef you saw with the African Americans about the Wi-Fi and the slavery, they probably were in on that too. Like some of the accounts, some of those Twitter accounts.
I was
Man,
like, I was like, but how can this be? I was trying to check on this other person, like, is this person, what's going on? Unfortunately, I couldn't open the profile and everything. I was like, this is, this isn't right. Something is not right on everything here.
right.
To me, it didn't sound very correct. Anyway, so this is all we had for today, guys. I thank you so much for coming, for showing up, and just enlightening. You can see that there are a lot of questions. People are so curious. There were so many things to ask, so many things to learn. Because in order for people to understand each other, there should be a dialogue. There should be a sit down, and people should learn about each other. People had to, what we call in China, what they call it, people to people interaction. Okay, where you get to ask questions, where you get to hear, oh, really? So next time, if the person was in this dialogue with us, now when they go, but no, no, this is not it. They say someone said like this, So this is how people get to know each other. People how to. At the end of the day, all these misconceptions and all these preconceived things that we have in our minds, they are erased when you begin to see the reality of things, and when you begin to interact with other people, you get to know, oh, really, this is how it is. Oh, okay, fine. That is why sometimes I love to have some intellectual discussions, and to get to learn more of other people, to get to understand other people's culture, how they think and everything. So I really appreciate you guys for taking your time to be with us. I think we've been here for a long time. And I also think my friends here, they're so tired as well. So yeah. And what did you say? Any said, would you marry an African woman? Of course they do marry African women.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so yeah, thank you so much, Nigel. Thank you so much, Sherman. I hope
Okay,
to have
thank
you
you.
back another time when we set up another meeting, because we want to have all these educational and interactive chats, dialogues that can help us to like get to know each other more. Instead, this will help us to avoid all these small chats that are going on Twitter, unnecessary fights. Like I feel like some of them they're just shallow. Some of them I feel like they just need to incite.
Right,
Someone just comes in and punches the button and leaves and say, okay,
right.
let me watch them go on it. So this is just how I feel about it. So yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Shem, thank you guys. We are leaving now. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope to have you again on another topic. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Talent. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Yusuf, I appreciate you, Talent. You are all appreciated, my best friends. Margaret, thank you so much. Let me thank everybody. Period. Thank you so much. Nyax, thank you so much. Everyone who was in our chat live with Minky, appreciated. Lady Skara, appreciated. Uncle, thank you so much together with your friends. I appreciate you guys. You are much appreciated. May God bless you and everything that you do. Thank you so much. See you again tomorrow, my best friends, when we come back again with more chats, more dialogues. Stay safe and remember to continue to social distance yourself. Goodbye. Good night.